Welcome, everyone. My name is Heaven Montgomery, and I'm a proud teacher and a proud Mendenhall Middle School Mustang. In Greensboro, affluent Irving Park neighborhood sits the very beautiful Mendenhall Middle School. Mendenhall boasts both a diverse staff but also student body. The student population, however, doesn't reflect the neighborhood the school is located in. 45% of our student population lives at or below the poverty line. Our demographics are as follows. Our school is about 37% African or African American, 34% white or Caucasian, 20% Hispanic, 8% Asian or Pacific Islander, and less than 1% of other. Based on our district performance, as you can see here on the chart, helping our students recognize how math is all around us and making it more relevant to cultural expectations or experiences that they may have is a great way to build higher order thinking that's required of them now that they're entering middle school. So the title of our station activity is going to be Countries of Our Classroom. So the objective is to build a classroom community while using math to explore cultural facts and personal connections. The materials you'll need are actually quite accessible. Index cards, a clear bowl, pencils, anchor chart paper, markers, post-it notes, about 3 per student. So on the index card, you're going to have students start with writing down countries or cultures that are part of their family or hold personal meaning to their background. Give the students about 1 to 2 places that their family are connected to. Have them place those index cards folded and into the clear bowl. Using tally marks, I then wrote the names of the countries that were written on the index cards and placed them on the board. With the data collected in the tally sheet, I had the students help me create a coordinate plane on our anchor chart paper to make a bar graph of the countries that predominantly make up our classroom. Based on our classroom data, about 15 students identified the United States as the country that held significant meaning to themselves or their families. 5 students identified Nigeria as the country that held significant meaning. 5 students identified Mexico as the country that held significant meaning. 1 student identified Japan as the country that held significant meaning to themselves or families. And 1 student identified the Philippines as a country that held significant meaning to themselves or their families. After looking at the data that we found on our chart with a partner, the students were successfully able to complete a turn and talk, which is just an opportunity to promote healthy discussions in the classroom. So in these turn and talks with their peers, they were supposed to discuss information or facts that they knew about the countries that were most dominantly represented based on our charts. So in their discussions, as we came back as a class collectively, we established that the people of the US love sports like baseball, football, and basketball. People of Nigeria love food, especially jollof and egusi, escovitch, music, and dancing. And the people of Mexico love food, especially tacos, tamales, and beans. Art is especially important, like quilting and dancing as well. By having the students do a turn and talk, it added a different layer of rigor to the lesson so that not only can they use this higher order thinking to apply math lessons, but also social studies and geography as well. I took the information that the students mentioned and created real-world math problems based on the countries we discussed in further detail. For the United States of America, we created a baseball problem. The students are solving for the number of feet the player ran within the game. The standard that can support this math problem would be NC 6.G.1-4. For the country of Nigeria, we have a math problem that allows the students to follow a recipe for a very culturally popular dish like jollof. The students will solve for the correct measurement of rice based on the information given. The measurements and decimal conversions support North Carolina Standard 6.RP 1-9. For the country of Mexico, we have a math problem that allows the students to focus on the cultural significance of rug making in Oaxaca, Mexico. The students are going to solve for the amount of total hours it takes to make one rug. The standard that this math problem supports is NC 6.E.E. With the math questions now posted on anchor charts throughout the classroom and the pairs that the students completed their turn in talking, they're now going to go solve for the correct answer to the math problems. They're going to take their post-its with their partner's name and write the correct answer to the problem that's listed. While doing these rotations, students are going to go to each of the different stations until they've solved for all three questions. I found it helpful to set a timer for the rotations of about 5 minutes. Students are encouraged to use the entire time and to double check their work. To avoid congestion, no more than 4 pairs were at a math station at a time. This lesson really works. It has so much cultural inclusiveness. It allows the students to not only reflect on their identities, but it also introduces them to the identities of the students that they'll be sharing the classroom with for the remainder of the school year. It helps to build confidence. It allows students to connect math to real world problems, but also their own personal background. It promotes discussion by allowing the students to do a turn and talk to discuss what they know about the countries that are most dominant within your classroom, and it's fun and flexible. It allows them to get up and be mobile to have a hands-on activity, but this can also be done virtually or in a different setting and can be adjusted for various math levels. Completing this activity early in the school year is a great way to promote cross-cultural communication and discussions. It's a great way to get to know your students better, and it's a way for students to really be aware of the math that is constantly all around us. These are the references that I used to complete my lesson. I do hope that you find them helpful and that you're able to go and try this out in your own class. Thank you.